This day in sports history. This episode is brought to you by the Sterling Soap Company. Sterling Soap is 100% natural and with a variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, cologne, and many more personal care products in a large variety of scents, you're sure to find something that's perfect for you or that special someone in your life. Check them out at sterlingsoap.com. It's December 21st, and with college bowl season in full swing, let's go back to 1984 for a very interesting Holiday Bowl. This edition of the Holiday Bowl was interesting as much for what happened leading up to this game as what happened during the game. BYU was the only undefeated team in the country in 1984 and were the top-ranked team. As the champs of the WAC, BYU was obligated to play in the Holiday Bowl at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Now, a few things here. The WAC, not a power conference. The Cougars had run through the league with very little resistance. They'd only played one ranked team all season, and that was an out-of-conference game, and it was their first game of the year against a highly overrated Pitt team. It was ranked third at the start of the year, but they ended up with only 3 wins by the end of it. So, really, they did not play a single ranked team. The Holiday Bowl was not an attractive destination for a lot of other teams. I mean, San Diego is nice, but it was never going to have the prestige of a New Year's Day Bowl. Well, that, along with a minuscule $500,000 guarantee to the opposing team, made it difficult to find an opponent for BYU. 7 teams, including Boston College and newly minted Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie, declined the invitation. BYU considered buying their way out of the contract to go play in the Fiesta Bowl, but then they opted to stay. Finally, a 6-5 Michigan Wolverine team agreed to play the Cougars. Now, this was a Michigan team that had struggled with injuries. Starting quarterback Jim Harbaugh broke his arm in the 5th game of the year, and the Wolverines struggled under backups Russ Ryan and Chris Zurbrigg. So even if BYU won the Holiday Bowl, a lot of pollsters were not really pumped to vote the Cougars as the national champs due to all of these factors. Things did not start great for BYU on this night either. Quarterback Robbie Bosco, who would finish 3rd in the Heisman voting in 1985, threw an interception on the Cougars' first possession, and then when he got hit on a roughing the passer call by Michigan, he suffered a knee ligament strain, and he had to leave the game for a couple of possessions. When he did return, he fumbled the ball into the end zone, and Michigan recovered for a touchback. That would be one of the stories on this day. BYU had 6 turnovers, 3 fumbles, and 3 interceptions. Despite that, BYU was only down 7 in the 4th quarter. The Cougars went on an 8-play, 80-yard drive and tied it up with this play.
Bosco has the team set. He's back to throw again. Chase looks, throws for the end zone. Touchdown! A tremendous coverage shot by Gronkowski. Oh, it's big crowd. Boy, what a grab.
With under 2 minutes to play, BYU had the football and a chance to close it out. With Bosco still hobbling around from his first quarter injury, he found a way.
3rd down play. Bosco looking. Scrambles. Throws it. Touchdown!
The Cougar interception of a Zurbrigg pass sealed the win, and they escaped with the 24-17 victory. So, a struggling, error-filled win over a very average Michigan team did not really improve their resume. So the Cougars had to wait until all the New Year's Day bowl games were played out to find out what the voters would say. Well, the biggest bowl game to watch was the Orange Bowl, featuring number 2 Oklahoma and number 4 Washington. The Huskies beat the Sooners 28-17. Now, if the Sooners had won that game, there's a strong feeling that the pollsters would have leapfrogged them over BYU and crowned Oklahoma as the national champs. So when it came time to vote, BYU received 38 of the 60 first-place votes and held on to the top spot and were the consensus national champions. The Washington Huskies got 16 first-place votes and finished second. With BYU, in essence, wrapping up the national championship on December 21st, it's the only time the eventual national champion played in a bowl game prior to New Year's Day. Let's go to 2003 and a wild finish in the NFL with what became known as the River City Relay. The New Orleans Saints still had playoff aspirations, but in order to fulfill those, they needed to win their final 2 games of the regular season. Well, here in Week 16 for the first of those 2, their backs were against the wall. Trailing 20-13 with 7 seconds left, the Saints had the ball on their own 25. Aaron Brooks had a strong arm, but a 75-yard Hail Mary was not in his arsenal. But that didn't mean they didn't have some ammo left. Here's Kurt Menefee with the call for Fox that day.
7 seconds to go. Brooks. Dante Stallworth catches it, stays in bounds. He's going to have to score on this one, and he's got a chance. Getting a couple of blocks, laterals it over to Michael Lewis. Back to McAllister. Still alive. And they got it. Jerome Pathon with the catch. And he dives into the end zone for the touchdown. What a play to keep your season alive. 75 yards and the score.
The only thing missing was the Stanford band.
As Jack Buck once said, I don't believe what I just saw.
Well, what happened following that touchdown had New Orleans Saints fans asking that same question. Video review confirmed all the laterals were legal, and so now the Saints just needed the always reliable John Carney to kick the extra point. He had not missed one in 4 years. Here's Jim Henderson's call for the New Orleans Saints radio network.
All sorts of incredible plays along the line for the Saints to stay alive, pending the extra point by John Carney. And he missed. No! He missed the extra point wide right. Oh my God, how could he do that? This one is over as John Carney misses his first extra point of the season.
Oh, the heartbreak is so evident in Henderson's call. Disbelief, rage, disappointment. The Saints beat the Dallas Cowboys the following week to finish 8-8 with that one unanswerable question. What if? Always lingering. This episode is brought to you by Firefly Books. From frozen ponds in small-town Canada to packed arenas under bright lights, hockey's journey is 150 years strong. Hockey Hall of Fame Timeline of the Game takes you through it all. 8 defining eras, hundreds of rare photos, legendary names, game-changing moments. Created with the Hockey Hall of Fame, this book is a visual time capsule of the sport's most iconic chapters. Whether you're a die-hard fan or looking for the ultimate holiday gift, Timeline of the Game is a must-have for every hockey lover. Pick up your copy today at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or bookshop.org. On this day in 1891, basketball was born. There was a fresh blanket of snow covering Springfield, Massachusetts that day. A blizzard a few days prior, coupled with a frigidly cold temperature outside, meant folks were mostly stuck indoors. And the young men at the YMCA training school were getting restless. The roughhousing in the halls was escalating, tempers were teetering on the edge, and nothing could be said to calm them down. A few activities were attempted. A game of Drop the Handkerchief, which was a forerunner to Duck, Duck, Goose, did nothing. How about a modified game of football in the gym? Well, that didn't work out either. So James Naismith, who was the new physical education instructor there, said he needed to do something different and something fast. This 30-year-old Canadian remembered a game that he played as a kid called Duck on a Rock, which featured a good-sized rock placed on a large stone with a man guarding it. Others threw their rocks at the placed rock, trying to knock it off. Combining elements of that game, along with rugby and lacrosse, he came up with an idea for a new game. He asked the custodian for 2 square boxes, but all the custodian could find were a couple of peach baskets. Naismith mounted those peach baskets to the lower rail of the gymnasium's balcony at opposite ends, which happened to be 10 feet off the floor. He cleared everything off the floor, grabbed a soccer ball, divided a group of 18 into 2 teams of 9,